So I'm out here in Alaska right now. I'm doing a gig with a tribute band, and it's a really quick fly in, fly out thing. 3 days out in Alaska, and we do just the one show. But there's a lot of travel time, and there's a lot of downtime, sort of just waiting around in the cruise ship. And of course, when you're at port, you can get off and explore, but right now the ship's kind of just traveling to its next destination, and there's all the time on the flight. And anyways, all that to say is there's a lot of time to sort of just think about things and get work done. So I've been doing a lot of both of those. Most of the work that I've been doing has been either editing my album that's coming out in November. It's my first album as a solo artist, and I've also been just writing new songs. Everything from the album is already written, but I just like to write either for other people or for the next record potentially after that. So one of the ideas that I've had kind of sitting around in my mind for the last little while it's really simple. It's just a song called Ask for What You Want, and I'm imagining it as a sort of trance, like almost like a mantra, just repeating and maybe building in intensity as the song goes on. And I would sort of just world build around that. And it's definitely something that I'll write pretty soon. I don't know if it's something that will make the cut and get out into the world, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit because, well, it just got me thinking about in what ways would my life be different if I had a lot of money, essentially. And of course there is a lot more to life than just money, but I think as a thought experiment, thinking about that is kind of cool, because if you have the resources to be able to do whatever you want with your time, and to be able to free up different options to do essentially whatever you want to a degree, what would you do? And what things could you actually do now as well that maybe you're just, for whatever reason, not doing? So I've been thinking about that a lot, and it's actually been kind of encouraging in a way, because I think I've actually set up my life in a way where my day-to-day looks pretty similar to how it would if I didn't need to worry about anything financially. I'm able to play music for a living. I'm able to hang out with my friends a lot who are also phenomenal musicians, and I just get to practice and create new things, and that's really cool. There are a lot of things that would also be different just in the version of what it is that I'm currently doing. I kind of liken it to, like, I don't know, I'm in like minor league baseball right now, and I'm trying to get to the major leagues kind of thing. And so I don't know, for me, I think that's kind of a cool place to be. I have a long ways to go, and I have a lot of things to work on, but I don't know, I guess that tells me that at least as an artist, my priorities are in the right place for the most part, and I've been setting myself up to hopefully be able to do a bigger, better version of what I'm doing right now. And the main difference for me really would just be transitioning from predominantly playing covers to predominantly playing original music, and also writing and recording more in terms of my financial livelihood. I do a ton of that, but I'm making probably 80% of my living right now playing live, and 80% of that is tribute bands and wedding bands, and a lot of them are really high level. Like the band that I'm playing with right now is a phenomenal show, and not only is everybody in it a really great musician, but they're also really great performers, and the show itself is super tight and super well rehearsed and well paced as well, well designed. So I've been able to learn a lot about that, about how to structure a live performance. And I think, as you're building a career, you sort of pick up all of these little skills along the way. And at first, early on in my career, I was just saying yes to every opportunity, even ones that didn't pay. Of course, it was better if they did. And as time has gone on, I've gotten more and more selective about what I'm actually going to say yes to and what I'm going to commit my time to, because, well, I just have more bills to pay and life gets more complicated, but also I've steadily realized that it's a very difficult path to make a living as an artist, and if you're gonna do it, you might as well do exactly what you want to be doing. So now that I've gotten busy enough that I'm able to pick and choose to a degree the things that I want to be able to do, I'm kind of taking advantage of that more and more. But I think if I didn't have to consider anything financially, I would be collaborating with a lot more people and getting just the best people that I could find to help create albums, both for myself and working on their albums as well. But I think that I'm on a good path on the way to that, so I kind of just wanted to document this. Hopefully some people find it interesting, and you can let me know if you're in a similar situation or where you are in your career, if you're also an artist, or if you're just curious about the lifestyle. You can let me know if you have any questions about what it's actually like to be a professional musician, because I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. I've done very little else to make money, really, in my whole life. There was a short period during the pandemic where everything had shut down in the industry that I bartended for 3 months, and then that place shut down because of COVID, and that's basically my work experience outside of music. A couple of those little things here and there as well. But yeah, it's kind of a wild path to take, but I'm really glad that I'm on it, and I've come so far down it at this point that I think I'm a lifer. I'm gonna be doing this as long as I can do this, and I just want the version of it to become bigger and better constantly, and that's kind of what keeps me going. And it's not the money or the fame that is propelling me to that. I know that's a cliche thing to say, and I do want those things to a degree. I wouldn't want to be like super famous. I wouldn't want to be Michael Jackson famous, where you can't go to the grocery store. But I think it would be cool to be known within the industry, at least, so that I could call up somebody who I heard a record that they produced for, I don't know, I was just listening to a Casey Musgraves record, and I don't know who produced it, but if I were to acquire a certain level of fame, or of maybe respect, let's call it, in the industry, then if I wanted to get in touch with that person and work with them, then it would be easy to do that, or easier at least. So for me, that's really the thing that and also just having my art available to more people who might enjoy it, like who doesn't want to have that, right? So I think it's, as an artist, it's almost like a faux pas to want to be famous, but like we all do. Can't we just admit that? Maybe we don't. I don't know. I don't want to speak for everybody, but like I think it's just important for that to not be the driving force and to not let that change how you're creating, because I think if that was exclusively my motive, or let's even just say my primary motive, the music that I'm writing would be a lot more commercial and a lot less weird in some aspects, frankly. So I don't know. It's something to think about. Just how would your day-to-day change if you didn't have to worry about the essentials? Is kind of a Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since grade 8 or whenever I learned that. But anyways, it's a cool road, and it's nice to just look back on it a little bit, because I think my 15-year-old self, or frankly even my 22-year-old self or 25-year-old self, I'm 29 now, would be pretty thrilled with some of the things that I'm getting to do right now in my career. And like I said, still a long ways to go, but I would encourage people to ask themselves that question. And I'm also a huge proponent of, like I said, the song that I'm mulling over in my mind right now, the ask for what you want idea. I think it's important to just put things out there. You know, what do you want? I was in a co-write with somebody recently who said he was doing live sound for a living, or is doing live sound for a living, and is writing a lot of songs with a lot of different people, really good writer. And he told me that he's a guitarist and that he used to tour with his band, like a punk band that he put together in college, and he hasn't toured in a while, and he really wants to be a hired gun guitarist on a country tour or a folk tour. And every co-write that he does or person that he meets, he sort of just mentions it, like, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. If you hear of anything that might align, or anybody that you can connect me with, just, you know, keep me in mind. Not pushy about it, just super chill. But I think it's just such a smart thing to do, just to put that out there into the universe with people that you're talking to, and the screen that you're talking to, I guess, in this case. But anyways, I think that's kind of all I really wanted to say for now. And maybe it's dark now, which rarely happens in Alaska, apparently. Well, in the winter it's like exclusively dark, and then in the summer it's very bright, very late. But I don't know where I was going with that anyways. But ask for what you want. And that's it for today. Maybe tomorrow in the daylight, that's where I was going with this. I'll show you around the ship and the beautiful scenery. We saw some whales today. I saw some seals recently. Pretty sweet. So with that, I'm signing off of this clearly very polished and scripted video. Peace.